Welcome back, guys. Unknown003 here, coming at you with another Killer Instinct character tutorial, and we finally made it to Jago. So he was originally a Season 1 character, but he had roughly the same exact stuff as the secret boss Jago. But during Season 2, we were actually, or the developers were actually trying to make him like his own actual character. And thanks to the community and pretty much their donations and stuff like that, it ultimately allowed them to be able to manifest him into his own character. So thankfully, here we are now, and sure enough, Jago in his finest, ladies and gentlemen. So anyways, enough of the preamble, let's get to the basics here. So with Jago, he is very good with like zoning, amazing with like cross-ups and mix-up options, especially when you get to like the special move cancels, as we will get to later. And yeah, not to mention, man, he's like super fast, so a lot more aggressive, I would argue, than Jago himself. But anyways, let's get to the basics here. So yeah, first off, you got the this light, medium, heavy punch. Roughly looks the same like Jago, right? Here's the light kick. Not exactly good with range. Here's the medium kick. And there's the heavy kick. So, a little similar to Jago's, you would see. The crouching heavy punch is actually different from Jago's. Just a simple, you could do this as an anti-air, but there are slightly better options depending. And of course, cancelable. So here's a light kick, medium kick, and heavy kick. Roughly the same. I would argue his reach for his crouching medium kick is a little worse than Jago's. But yeah, that's the basic for that, or the basis for that. So there are two kind of like special normals that he does have. For one, forward heavy kick kind of leaves a stagger for the opponent. Pretty good with range, and of course you can combo into it proper, as you can see. And his back heavy kick, one, it's an overhead, and it will stagger the opponent so that you can combo after. And also, if you get the timing right, you can actually use it as a recapture. Or not recapture, but yeah, you get kind of like a ground bounce off of it. Yeah, it doesn't really allow you to capitalize too much on it, aside from maybe doing this. But yeah, that's the basis of his normals. His grab is a simple pop-up, no matter what side you do it. So you could do something simple like that. You could do this, which is a recapture, but again, we'll get into that later. So he does have options, even with his grabs itself. But yeah, as you can see, like the grab on its own is pretty dismal when it comes to damage. Only because of the fact that you're supposed to capitalize off like the air juggle. So there you go for that. So first off, let's go to the fireballs. Very simple and very fast. Here's medium. Heavy is incredibly quick. And if you, as you can see, you could definitely zone out opponents with that as well. Here's the shadow version. Instead of one big fireball, he shoots out 5 of the normal ones. And not to mention, he could do the same thing in the air. So there you go. Also pretty damn quick. So yeah, that's the basis for the air fireball. And it doesn't have a linker, it just goes straight to the ender. And as you would have probably guessed, the ender is a battery ender. So if you use up meter and you end with it, you will get a pretty good amount of meter back. So there is definitely reasons to use it, especially if you don't have any meter at all. But yeah, now we'll go into the Surge after we kind of like dictate all the special moves. But yeah, his next one is going to be this one. This is the back forward or back down, diagonal forward, basically Shoryu motion punch. This is his anti-air, one of his anti-airs, and it's not amazing just because of the fact that it is a complete vertical anti-air. So if they are just out of range, that can easily punish you, which is one of the detriments to this, unfortunately. But if you do end it, of course, this is where the damage comes in. As kind of expected, a little similar to Jago in that regard. And the Shadow version is basically the same, but a little bit more damaging, if you're willing to spend the meter, of course. So yeah, there's that. His down back kick is his slide. Basically what Jago had in Killer Instinct 2, but a lot quicker, as you can see. And very good with range. But as kind of expected, it is very punishable. So if people kind of guess your mix-ups, whether you're trying to do the overhead or like the low, for example, they are both punishable. So use it sparingly and use it unpredictably. As much as you could, anyway. So yeah, here's the linker. Pretty simple. And if you do the heavy ender, that is just the exchange ender, so you're going to end up on the other side of the character. The Shadow version, this is actually very similar, if not pretty much the same to the boss Shadow Jago, if you ever have run into him. So yeah, that's the basis for that. So now we'll go into his other special move, his down forward kick. Basically a teleporting foot dive, I guess, if you want to call it that. Yeah, so it completely depends on your strength of the kick. Obviously, light kick is going to be very small when it comes to range, and the heavy version is going to be a lot further. And as for the Shadow version, so this is where the recapture comes in. So you could do this, bam, instant recapture. Here's this is what the linker looks like right here. Pretty simple, and if you do end it with that, it does look damaging, but it is basically a hard knockdown ender. So it's not going to be as damaging as the Shoryu ender. But again, if you want a quick knockdown, this is the one to do. So there's that. And yeah, like, you just got to get the timing right in order to get the recapture here. But that's the basis of it, man. And yeah. So that roughly covers every single special move. So now we'll go into the surge stuff. So if you have meter, as you can see in the bottom left, there is an additional kind of like interface down there that says surge. And if you do have that much meter or enough meter, you'll be able to get the surge. What it allows you to do actually is you could tap another button depending on what special move you press. So for example, simple fireball, right? But if you tap another punch, you get a follow-up or just another additional fireball. It does use up a little bit of the meter. It looks like maybe 40-45% meter, if not 50. So there's a cost to it, but again, like, if you see the opponent is easily jumping over your attacks, bam, you get another up there, and it'll throw him off. So it's always good to have meter when you're Shadow Jago, because it allows you to be a lot more unpredictable when it comes to fighting against them. So yeah, that's the basis for that, and it's no different with the air fireball. So it just shoots it downward. That's the difference for this one. Pretty much the same. You cannot actually do a follow-up if you do the Shadow version, so just keep that in mind. Just heavy version is going to be the fastest, as per usual. So now we'll go into the Shoryu again. If you do the follow-up, you get this. So just another additional follow-up does a couple more hits, and you could follow up with that as well. So if you do get the anti-air, like the opponent jumps, and you know that you could follow up, there you go. And then you could do something like this. Let's get a proper example here. Okay, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I promise. There we go. Yeah, so something like that. And yeah, pretty cool, right? So now we'll go into the slide. So what this allows you to do, yeah, the slide is, the light version is actually really slow. But if you do tap it, you teleport on the other side. So again, this is like one of the more dangerous ones too. The kick versions are definitely the most dangerous because of the fact that they will switch to the other side. And again, you can follow up and just go from there and go to town. And yeah, like, it's gonna take time to kind of learn how to capitalize with combos with Shadow Jago, but it's not gonna be very difficult, I promise. So yeah, there you go. And his last one is gonna be the teleport. So if you do press a button, it does multiple hits, and if I'm not mistaken, if you do the multiple hits and the character does end up blocking, it is plus, so you could either follow it up with an immediate grab, or you could do another like low mix-up, you could do straight into this. But again, you gotta know what side you're gonna be in, otherwise that's when it could fall apart. So that's one of the detriments to Shadow Jago. You need to be fast when it comes to reflexes so that you can use them to his full extent, because again, like with all the mix-up options and his unpredictability, you got to be able to keep up with him in order to use them proper. So yeah, another thing we'll talk about is actually his dash. So this is what his dash looks like. Double tap forward, double tap back, you know the usual. You can teleport directly behind the person or the opponent. It's actually one of the cooler dashes in my opinion. Just a quick teleport and just disappear and reappearance and stuff. But you can do some things with this. So for one, you could do the dash into the immediate grab, which is also really cool. You could do dash into a punch, which is gonna get you this. So it looks a lot like the Shoryu, but of course it's more diagonal now in terms of the attack. But if you do teleport right behind the opponent, that's when you get the vertical one. So otherwise it'll look exactly like this. And yeah, that's what the Surge one looks like. And again, it's gonna take time for you to kind of like learn what you could do to kind of capitalize off the punish, but that's how it is, man. Shadow Jago is a beefy boy with really good damage and a lot of quick stuff for you to kind of figure out. So the last one is going to be the dash into the kick, and that is when you get the with the teleporting like dive kick and stuff. But and again, if you tap the kick button at least twice, that's when you get the multiple hits, which again will make you safe, and you'll be able to kind of mess with the opponent there in terms of mix-ups. So it's pretty cool. He's got a lot, and his instinct is actually no different, because there are multiple things that he could do with this. For one, if you teleport or you decide to throw a fireball and it does connect, you see this like smoke effect that kind of like a link, as you can see. There are some properties to it that you might not have known before, and especially you won't know if you if you were just picking up this character. Okay, so we'll do this again. Okay, so the first thing is that if you tap both heavy buttons, this will actually give both characters meter. So if you are willing to take the risk on obtaining meter and giving your opponent meter, that is basically what you gotta do. So just tap both heavy buttons, and there you go, free meter. But again, the opponent will attain meter as well. Another thing is that if you use up meter, if you notice on the opponent's side as well, they will lose it. So you are essentially taking or siphoning some of their meter as well. So you use the full extent of your shadow meter for an attack, but it does take away from theirs as well, which is pretty damn useful, especially if you're trying to rid the opponent of their meter and you have enough to spare. And even in the middle of a combo, for example, that is when it is very useful to use. Okay, so this, for example. Bam, you get a full punish, or you get a damaging combo, and they also lose some of their shadow meter as well. So yeah, it's a very helpful tool. Otherwise, if you want to get more to the point, Shadow Jago, unlike Omen, has like a true Raging Demon. So if you do have Instinct activated, at any time you could tap down, forward, and both light attacks, and you get this. Pretty cool, right? And yeah, initially it looks like it's not very damaging. That was more to the fact that, or the opponent, most important thing to know with that is that the sooner you use that particular attack, which is a zoning grab by the way, so like exactly like Akuma, it is an unblockable. So if the opponent does not jump, he will, or they will get demoned, as you would call it. So yeah, the sooner you press or use it during Instinct, the more damaging it is. So if you use it on the very end, as I basically did before in the initial try, then it's not going to be very damaging. So yeah, we're going to use this literally in the very end. Bam! So like very little damage, as you can see. So what, 13%? Yeah, that's not very good, right? But if you use it immediately, and say that their opponent is like recovering from something, instant use, instant activation, this is going to be the max damage output for the demon. Damn near 50% damage, dude. So if you think that you could pull it off, by all means, feel free. Otherwise, you could use it again for the like the erasing meter, immediately getting it back, as you can see. And yeah, and if you're done, you just use it for that. So that is the basic gist of it. And yeah, I think with that covers about everything that you need to know with Shadow Jago. So mix-ups, zoning, especially with like the fireball attacks. And again, like using the surge if you're willing to use meter. And yeah, just overall being very unpredictable with this character. That is one of his most powerful traits in the game, which makes him roughly top 7, I think, like in my opinion. But still, otherwise, if you are able to kind of predict where he's gonna go, that's gonna leave him very open for attack. So that is one of the main detriments to this character. Otherwise, he's fast, he's mean, and he's damn near dangerous. So, oh yeah, there is one last thing, sorry. So in terms of the, this here, so just like Jago, if you recall, you could do linker or auto double into another auto double. But the difference is that with Jago, you have to do it on a heavy and medium light sort of rotation. But as for Shadow Jago, he could tap anyone he wants. Except he just can't do the same one twice. That is the only bad thing about it, but otherwise it gives him more freedom to kind of mess with. So, and yeah, let's double check something here. Yeah, that basically covers everything with Shadow Jago, man. So, again, hopefully this was kind of easy to understand. With Shadow Jago, it's seemingly kind of simple to get, but again, when it comes to the surge attacks and it comes to like the teleporting and the dashes, there is definitely a lot to the plate of Shadow Jago, but again, take bite sizes and you will eventually get what you want out of him, especially if you're looking for this type of character that has a ton of mix-ups, zoning, and overall just speed. So that's gonna do it for now, y'all. Tune in next week where we dive into Season 3, and we'll start with Kim Woo, as a matter of fact. But in the meantime, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Fight on, everyone.
Yeah.